to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my really easy beachy waves. If you guys are not already following me on Instagram and TikTok, my username is @HannahWhirling, and let's get started. So the first thing that you're going to want to do before you get started with curling your hair is, if you're like me and you have curly or frizzy hair, be sure to straighten it first. This will just give you a really easy base to be able to work off of. If you guys want to see how I straighten my hair, I have it in my hair care routine video. You can see how I do it to get this really sleek look. My hair is naturally quite frizzy, so hopefully that will help some of you. But once you have done that, it should look something like this and you can get started. Before you do anything, you are going to want to spray a heat protectant on your hair. If you have already straightened your hair and blow dried it or things like that, make sure you reapply a heat protectant. This is because each time that you use heat on your hair, it can be damaging, so make sure to continue to reapply it. This is super important. The one that I like to use is the Tresemme Thermal Creations Heat Tamer Leave-In Spray. I find this stuff is really good. I really like it. I also use one from Aussie. They have one that's really good as well. The first thing that I would do is just spray this all over your hair. Super important. So I'm just gonna start by doing that. And it's okay to use a lot of heat protectant. It's better to use too much, I think, than too little. Make sure to get the ends too, because the ends are the most damaged part of your hair, so it's super important to protect those. So once I do that, I like to go in and brush my hair through. I just think that it is super important. If you are like me and you use a lot of heat on your hair, which I do, I blow dry it, I straighten it, I curl it, so just make sure that you are taking care of your hair if you do all those things. My hair is still very healthy even though I use heat on it pretty much every day. It's just a matter of making sure that you're caring for it. So once you've brushed through all the product, you want to make sure that it dries a little bit as well, because you don't want to be applying heat on your hair while it's still wet with anything, whether it's water or heat protectant or anything like that. So my next pro tip is, before you start curling your hair, use a hairspray on it. This will just help hold the curl, and especially if you've used heat on it before you get started with curling, it's really easy for the curls to fall out. Or if you have naturally like super stick straight hair, sometimes it's really difficult to get the curls to hold. I am going to use another Tresemme product. I actually really like their hair care. It's really easy and you can find it at pretty much any drugstore. So this is the Tresemme Extra Firm Control. So this is like the number 4 hairspray. So similar to the heat protectant, I am just going to spray this all over my hair. You don't want to use quite as much as the heat protectant, just because this stuff can get very sticky, especially if you're using like a really firm one like I do. All right, that should be plenty. And then I'm gonna brush it out one more time just to make sure that the product spreads, even though it dries very quickly. Your hair might feel a little sticky. I wouldn't worry about this too much, because once you apply the heat, it's gonna kind of soften up again. But just brush through everything. This will also help with kind of the stickiness and the firmness of it. So once you have done those 2 products, your hair will be all prepped to begin curling. So the tool that I'm going to be using is the Remington, and I believe that this is I think it's a 1 inch, maybe a 1 1/4 inch. I'm pretty sure it's a 1 though. So it's like kind of on the thinner side. I find that larger barrels, I also have a 1 1/2 inch, I believe, and that one just like, it falls out. The curls don't stay. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. I believe you can get this one at Target. It's pretty inexpensive, so this look is super easy to recreate. I set my one to be 360 degrees, and then I am just going to split my hair in half, and I'm gonna start with the back. So I just take a section. I take it section by section. I like to start with the back just because, in case you mess up, I feel like the back is the least important part. And then once you felt like you have a good grasp on what you're doing the front last will make sure that you have the best curls in the front. You tilt the wand down like this, and I'm gonna curl away from my face. So like this, and then just curl away from my face. So just like that, and then hold it. I rest it on my palm because it's not hot on the end, and I just hold it for about 20 seconds. And then once those 20 seconds are up, I let it go into my hand, and I just hold it like this. It might be a little bit hot, so if you need to use a glove, it doesn't burn my hand, but if it's like too hot for you, please make sure that you're being careful and you are using a glove. And I hold that for about another 5 to 10 seconds. and then I let it drop, and it's just gonna create this really nice kind of thick curl like that. And then once this one is done, I just push it into the back, and then I go onto the next section, and I just curl from the bottom. It's gonna start about, because you're curling in these kind of bigger chunks, it's gonna start about halfway down the section of hair. And especially in the back, it's okay to use a little bit bigger chunks, but this is about the size of piece of hair that I'm using per curl. Sometimes it's a little bigger, sometimes it's a little smaller, but it's gonna be about this, and this is just gonna be our base for the curled look. So again, go and tilt down, and then just twist the hair around, and each time it twists, unfurl it, so kind of untwist it with your fingers and then wrap it back around. That way you do get that really nice natural curl, so you just kind of want to untwist it each time that you wrap it around. Hold it for another 20 seconds, and then you're just going to let it go and do the same thing all the way up into the front. And sometimes you might get these extra pieces here. Just try and merge it with the sections on your hair and curl it the same way. Okay, so now bring all of the hair on this side over to the front, and this is about what it should be looking like. We're not quite done because I feel like this just is too flat, especially on the top. So we're gonna start separating out some of those top pieces. So we're gonna start again from the back, moving towards the front. Grab a piece that's kind of attached to the top of your head. These pieces are gonna be significantly smaller than the ones that we just did. So they're gonna be just very, very thin pieces. And we are going to do something very similar, but you're gonna try and get as close to the top of your head as possible. Make sure that you don't burn it though, super important. Same thing though, twist away from your face and just curl it down like this. You probably don't need to hold it the full 20 seconds, so probably closer to like 10 to 15 seconds per strand, just so you don't burn your hair, really important. And then same thing, just let it go. Hold it in your hand for just a second. This will help the curl set, and then let it go. When you're done, you might get kind of separated pieces. Totally fine. We will be kind of running our hands through these, so it looks weird now, but it won't later. And then I would say like every inch or so, you're gonna do another one of these small pieces. So you're gonna take about an inch from the place that we last did it. Take a very small section of hair, again, it's pretty thin, and we're gonna curl over it. So I know it already has a little bit of curl in it, but we're really gonna try and get that top part. This is what it looks like right now. Check and make sure there's any sections that you wanna go over again. Like here, I feel like we could maybe do one more smaller curl. So go in and do that. Now that we have this, it looks a little bit crazy right now, but I promise it will get better. We are going to set it one more time with our hairspray, and then we're gonna leave it while we do the other side. I feel like this part is very important, or the curls will definitely fall out. As soon as you're done with this, spray it down with another round of hairspray. Then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave that completely, let it set. If you don't let it set, your curls really will. They will just fall out, and it won't be fun for anybody. So just let it sit and rest, and then we're gonna do the same thing that we just did on this side. So I finished curling the other side, and this is what it looks like. It's okay if it's not perfectly even on both sides. If you want that kind of fun, beachy wave look, I would say you probably don't want that. I'm just going to set this side with some hairspray, and I'm gonna leave it just for a couple minutes just to let it kind of cool down and make sure that all the curls are set before we brush through. So once that's done, I don't like to use a hairbrush to brush through. I know some people do, but realistically, I don't think that if you brush through with a hairbrush, your hair is going to stay all day. I'm gonna start on this side since this is the first side that I curled, and again, just kind of let this set a little bit longer. This will just separate some of the curls. It will loosen it up a little bit. You can kind of shake them out a little bit if you want to give it a little bit of extra volume, just to kind of toss it up. So this is the difference between kind of the tighter ringlets and the looser waves on this side. So then I'm gonna go through and do the same on the other side. So this is just what the final look looks like. It's super fun, just kind of natural beachy waves. I always get compliments on my TikToks whenever I do hairstyling videos and my hair is curled like this, and I always get DMs from you guys on Instagram. Hopefully this will give you guys some good tips on the best way to curl your hair. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not seen my other videos already, be sure to head over to my channel to do that. I have more hair care, fashion, styling videos, and more, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!